What time is it?
Now come sit down, come and let me holla at you. Come talk a real with a certified yapper. Conversations about the latest and the greatest in the world. We can talk about that man, or you can tell me about old girl. Got a secret, hey, don't lay it on me. You need a friend, I'll be your big homie. Let's take a sip and talk it out. Therapy without the couch. On the rocks is what you need. Come toast reality with me, hey. You are now tuned in to Rhonda on the Rocks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rhonda on the Rocks podcast. I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm back. And today is a very, very, very special day for me in my own personal life and journey, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I also want to say happy belated Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. Father's Day is a bit of a challenging day for me because my father is no longer with us, and I don't have no baby daddy. So yeah, happy Father's Day to all. Happy belated Father's Day, rather, to all of the fathers out there. Last time I was here, I talked a little bit about how fathers be feeling slighted, like they just get in the short end of the stick, and we just do all of this big hoopla for Mother's Day, and we don't do the same for Father's Day. So I hope that was different for y'all this year. I really do. So yeah, let's jump right in. Happy Halloween. Happy motherfucking Halloween. And I bring you those salutations because it's got to be Halloween the way that I have been ghosted by three guys in the last 2 weeks. Something about when I went on vacation, I don't know, they just vanished into thin air. So happy Halloween. I have been ghosted by 3 different gentlemen here recently. So let me tell y'all like some of the backstory. So the first guy, we went out on a date. We've only been out once. We were supposed to go out again, but he forgot because niggas don't write shit down. They don't plan. They just be going by the seat of their damn pants, I guess. But we only ended up going out the one time. Really kind of tall, nice guy, nice looking guy. My friends approved. Hey, everybody. Hey, Julia. Hey, D. My friends approved. So I was like, okay. We went out. We had a decent time. But he kind of had like what I want to say is like a Eeyore spirit, if that makes sense. Y'all know Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Hey, Tiana. Hey, Queen Tiana. He just had an Eeyore spirit, very like, oh, woe is me, and it's just all of these bad things happening to me all the time. So he was kind of like blowing me anyway, but he liked to go out, so I was cool with it. So we'll call him BD. We'll call him BD. So BD is AKA, well, let's just call him Eeyore. So Eeyore, we went out one time. Then there was, what do I want to call this guy? We will call him Glasses. So Glasses and I met all of these guys on Facebook dating, by the way, which is probably the worst of the dating apps, but it is what it is. So Glasses and I have been talking since like mid-May, maybe like the second week in May. Never got to go out because he not BD like that D, but there's another BD who did not ghost me. My. Anyway, so we never got a chance to actually go out because it was always something. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. He had all of this stuff going on, but every time you turn around, like, oh, I just gotta see you. I can't wait to see you. I'm gonna do all of these things for you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's glasses. And then last but not least, we're gonna call him this guy shoes because we went out 3 times and each time he had on the same shoes. And hey, people do what they do, but I'm the type of person, if I'm going out, I want to make a good impression. My appearance is very important to me when I'm going out with someone that I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm gonna put on a prom gown, but I'm definitely gonna look nice. I'm gonna put a little lipstick on. I'm gonna make sure that even if I wear a hat, like I'm gonna make sure that it's a full look, like it's all put together. So Shoes and I went out 3 different times. And Shoes was actually the one that I was feeling the most between Eeyore and Glasses. Shoes was the one that I was feeling the most, despite the fact that he wore the same shoes like each time that we went out. And only I would notice something like that because I'm a sneakerhead, so I'm definitely looking at what you got on your feet. And they weren't even sneakers; they was like them Hey Dudes, and I don't know. I don't want to sound like an elitist, but why you got on Hey Dudes? I don't like them. So, Shoes was the one that I liked the most. So I told all of these gentlemen that I was going on vacation. I ended up buying the internet package because I talked to my friends way too much to not have internet. Right, not shoes, just shoe. Footwear. So I told everybody like I'm going on this trip. One Eeyore had an Android, so I definitely knew I wasn't gonna be talking to Eeyore. So he apparently, when I got back, he had reached out multiple times, and because I didn't respond, he kind of had an attitude. But like we talked about it, and then after we like talked about it, like I was out of town, blah blah blah. I was really just trying to unplug. I was trying to rest. I ain't hear from him no more after that. Whatever. I wasn't really feeling Eeyore like that anyway, so he could go on his way. Now, Glasses, we talking back and forth while I'm on the trip. You having all this fun without me, the whole line. I sent a couple of pictures, the same pictures that I posted on Instagram. It wasn't nothing exclusive. Sent a couple of pictures. Oh my God, you look so good. You're going to be mine when you get back. And I was like, well, until I get back, why don't you go ahead and Zelle me for a drink? Because I'm having a good time. I'm sure you want me to continue having a good time. Zelle me for a drink. Glasses got on down. Glasses turned a blind eye to my request. Glasses could no longer see me when I requested a Zelle for a drink. Now, I already am not the type of woman that's like, a nigga gotta buy me this and a man gotta buy me this and he gotta buy me a Goyard bag and he gotta make sure my hair and that. I'm not even that type of girl because I'm gonna do that stuff anyway. Now, if you want to reimburse me, come on, Power, because you're having a hard time. It's raining. If you want to reimburse me for what I was already gonna do, I'm okay with that. But that I'm cool with that, but I'm not gonna be asking you to pay for my hair, pay for my nails, I'm just not that type of person. So me saying like, why don't you buy me a drink and never hearing from you again after you were so adamant how you was just going, you just couldn't wait to just eat me up when I got back. Ghost. Never heard from this person again. Never heard from Glasses again. So I hope that Glasses is somewhere maybe he's seeing someone else. I don't know. But Glasses is gone. And so Shoe, like I said, that was the person that I liked the most. He came from a faith background, so we had that in common because that's important to me. He had kids, but niggas be having babies. I don't know. People be fucking, so kids are being born. Um, he lived close by, which was also a big thing for me because all that driving back and forth, and you know how I feel about people coming to my house. So we could like meet up in places that were close by where I didn't have to drive far. We had good conversation, all of that. We went out. I left on a Saturday. We went out on a Thursday. And he specifically asked me on Thursday, like, so you gonna be able to like keep in touch while you out of town? Cause I know how like the cruises and stuff are. Are you gonna be able to keep in touch? I'm like, yeah, I'll probably buy the internet package and I'll be able to, or if I don't buy the internet package, when I'm like off the ship or in places where there's free Wi-Fi, I'll be able to communicate. Okay, bet, cool. Cause I want to make sure that we can still talk. And that was the last conversation that we had. Literally. I text, like I said, I left Saturday. I text Monday and was like, hey, stranger. And that's where the conversation went to die. So happy Halloween to all of those three gentlemen who ghosted me. I'm still a bad bitch. And yeah, I also am very much in a place now where ghosting used to really bother me. Like it used to really nerve me. Like I felt like I needed to know why. I needed to have closure. And it didn't matter how long I had been talking to the person. I just hated for things to just vanish and I didn't know why they did. Now I just really don't care. Like I don't, it doesn't impact me in the same way that it did back then. Like I really don't be caring. If you don't want to talk, that's cool. Like I really don't look for explanations and things anymore. I just let people do them. I've even found myself not really ghosting, but like I had a conversation with a guy that I met on Facebook dating the other day on Juneteenth. And I was like, how are you like celebrating? Are you no, he was I forgot how we got on the conversation about holidays. Oh, he was like, "Oh, why are you off work today?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's the holiday." And he was like, "What holiday?" I'm like, "Juneteenth." And he's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Are you not celebrating?" And he was like, "No, I've never really seen a real reason to celebrate that." So quite naturally, I goes to him because what are you talking about? What do you mean you've never seen a reason to celebrate Juneteenth? Like it just didn't make sense to me. We got off the phone. He was like, "Hey, I'll talk to you later." I'm like, probably not. But needless to say, like that wasn't going anywhere anyway. So have I ever ghosted somebody before? Sure. Um, and now I think it's less of ghosting, but more like I don't reach out to you, you don't reach out to me type deal. Versus these guys, it was like, "Oh, I made a request, glasses, and you disappeared." Or shoe, like I hit you up like, "Hey, what's going on?" You never responded or said anything back. So that's where we are. Happy Halloween to the ghosts, and we're moving on. So I mentioned at the start of the show that today is a very, very special day for me, and I'm hoping that I can make it through this entire process without crying. But my heart is so full. So y'all know, if you've been following me, last year I had weight loss surgery on this day, June 24th, 2025. I had a vertical gastric sleeve weight loss operation. Um, and my life has changed so substantially over the last year that sometimes it's hard to put into words. And I think that when people think about weight loss surgery, they think that it's all about vanity and it's all about how you're going to look. And it's not all about that. But if I'm being honest, looking better is a huge plus of having weight loss surgery. I don't care what nobody says. You can say it's for health, sure. Sometimes that's the initial reason why we, choose to do that. But I'd be damned if my A1C went down and I didn't start looking better. Like that's a huge part of it. I've never been camera shy. I've always taken pictures. I feel like I've always dressed well. I feel like I've always done the things. But baby, you cannot tell me nothing. You can't tell me a thing now. My highest weight ever was 356 pounds. 356 pounds. I am 240 pounds now, which means from my highest weight, not from my surgery weight, but from my highest weight till now, I've lost 116 pounds. That's a lot. And you never realize the impact that weight and being overweight has on your body until you are no longer in that same body. Weight loss surgery has changed how I look at food. Weight loss surgery has changed how I look at the world. Weight loss surgery has changed how I look at people. When I say the world, like, we live in a very exclusive world. The world does not include fat people when things are created. Society does not include fat people when they're making rides for roller coasters, when they're making seats on the airplane, when they're making just regular furniture for your home. Fat people are not a thought when those things are being created. Prior to having weight loss surgery, there was not a chair that I would sit in that I didn't have to test it out first. I got to make sure it's sturdy. I got to make sure that when I sit in this chair, it's still going to be underneath me and that I'm not going to fall to my demise, right? Prior to weight loss surgery, a seatbelt extender was mandatory. I wanted to be the first person on the plane so that I could request it before I got to my seat. And could I close the seatbelt? Yes, but it was so deathly tight that it made it uncomfortable for the ride. So I would get a seatbelt extender. At one point when I was 350 plus, that seatbelt wasn't strapping. It was like barely closing, if that. And I would have to like try to snap it multiple times because it would keep popping out. Let's see. My feet have shrunk. So all of my shoes, all of my sneakers, y'all know I'm a sneakerhead. I have tons of them. A lot of them are too big now. And that's annoying because I don't want to rebuy all of those shoes. And some of them I can't rebuy, but my feet have shrunk. I feel like even like at restaurants, when you think power, okay, I'm going to put you down because you're doing too much. At restaurants, the booth and the table are so close that if you're a big person, your belly gonna be on the table. My boobs used to be on the table all the time when I sat in a booth because it was so like there's not a lot of space between the actual seat and the table. So when I say that society don't think about fat people, heavy people, they don't. They don't. And while I'm still a heavy girl, I'm not heavy as hell, right? I'm not fat as fuck. But it's just, I kind of get to see the world from a different perspective. And like I said, weight has been a thing my entire life. Like I remember for Christmas one year, my parents bought me Tybo, like the Tybo workout tapes for Christmas. And I was like 13, maybe 12, 13 years old. Because I've just always been a heavier girl. So I think having weight loss surgery has also made me look at people different, right? Y'all, my dog is really clowning. He's making my camera shake. I'm so sorry. It's made me look at people different. The amount of people who have said to me, "Ooh, don't lose no more weight. Oh, you need to slow down. How much more weight you want to lose?" Especially men. That guys that I've dated or guys that whatever, that's their number one question. How much more weight you want to lose? Well, don't lose that ass. Don't lose them titties. It could all go. It could all go. I'm okay. I'll be fine. There's plenty of bitches out here with a flat ass that's got niggas. So I'm like, y'all relax. Um, or people are like clocking you. So everything that you do, everything that you put in your mouth, people, ooh, you eating that? Ooh, you doing that? Ooh, and that's not helpful. That's not helpful at all. And people like do it in the name of accountability when really it's just not nice and it's not helpful. That's not accountability. That's not accountability. I feel like I've had people tell me like, "Oh, don't get the big head. You didn't lost a little weight. Don't get the big head." And it's like, what y'all I did not eat solid food for 8 weeks. What you mean a little weight? And whether you think that's hard or whether you think I worked for it or you think weight loss surgery is a cop out, I'm here to tell you having weight loss surgery and even just the preparation for it is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I have 4 college degrees and that wasn't as hard as having weight loss surgery on this day last year. It wasn't. And the just like the mental part of it that people don't think about. I'm thinking about food now more than I did when I was just fat and trying to lose weight. Because I have to be mindful of everything that I put in my mouth. If y'all don't think I'm thinking about that, I'm the one who has to live in this body. And I know that if I eat certain things or if I eat too much, or I know the ramifications of that because I have to deal with those consequences. You don't. So people make this assumption that you're not thinking about how what you eat impacts you. You're not thinking about what happens when you don't work out. I work out 4 to 5 days a week without fail. The only week since I've had weight loss surgery, since I was cleared to work out after weight loss surgery, the only week that I have not worked out was this past June 6th through the 13th when I was in the Bahamas. That is the only week that I have not worked out at all. When I went out of town for my birthday, I worked out. So it's hard when people are constantly checking in or holding you accountable when you out here busting your ass. Because it doesn't feel like it comes from a sincere or genuine place. Yeah, so that's been kind of my experience. I think now my focus is toning up. I definitely want to lose more. There is a specific number that I have in mind. There was a specific number that I had in mind for 1 year and I didn't hit that number. And I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that because I was chasing a number and didn't even realize like the size of my clothes going down. Like the letter, because there's no number. The letter that's on my clothes now in terms of size, my mind never conceptualized that I would be buying a large anything. Just like straight large, no XL. I do wear XLs, but there are some clothes that I can fit off the rack in the store that's just a large. That's huge for me. That's huge for me. I can't remember wearing a large as an adult. I feel like I went from a girl 16 to a women's 12. I don't remember no in between. A women's 12, women's 14 for most of my life. Most of my life. And larger. I've worn a 24, 26 in women's. That's the big girls. 3Xs. That was my baseline, a 3X. I had some clothes from Shein, and Shein is a little cheaper, but I've had clothes from Shein that was a 4X. I have a blazer that I gave away, obviously now, but I had a blazer from Shein that was a 5X. That's where I was. So I do, like I said, I do have a number in mind that I would love to see on the scale, But right now, I'm just toning up. I am um, just enjoying this journey and enjoying this process and not allowing all of the chatter to like overtake me. Um, Having weight loss surgery was a choice that I made for me, and I don't have any regrets. I don't have any regrets. Um, the only thing that I wish I would have done was have done it sooner. And I was very anti surgery. I think I've mentioned this on an episode before. I was anti surgery. I was like, no, I can do it on my own. I don't want all that loose skin. I think having loose skin for me would be worse than being fat. I told myself all kind of stuff. Um, but do I have loose skin? Yes, my arms very loose. Um, I have loose skin in my thighs, my mid, like it's loose skin everywhere. But it is what it is. Like that, it hasn't changed how I feel about the decision that I made. It's definitely something. It's one of the things that happens when you lose a lot of weight. And even if I would have lost weight without weight loss surgery, chances are I would have still had some loose skin because again, my highest weight was 356 pounds. I love big girl confidence. Yeah, girl. Like, I what else am I gonna do? Sit around and be sad? Like, no. I love life. I love living. If they make clothes that look nice on me and they got a couple letters and numbers on it, I'm gonna buy it. I'm out here. Like, I've always been confident. For me, having weight loss surgery wasn't about my confidence. That's never been a thing because Rhonda had on a crop top at 356 pounds as well. So it's never been that. But I had some serious stuff going on with my health. Diabetes out of control. Well, I had gotten it under control by the time I had surgery, but at one point my diabetes was out of control. My A1C was a 10.5. That's high as hell. Now it's a 4.6. Weight loss surgery 100% helped with that. My blood pressure was in the 170s over high 90s, sometimes over 100. That's super high. Now, blood pressure 118 over 75, like very, very normal. Very, very normal. So yeah, I don't have any regrets. One of the other things that I wrote down to talk about today was like doing what you power, doing what you are graced to do. I think sometimes we look at what other people got going on, and the first thing that comes in our mind and out of our mouth is, "Ooh, that could never be me." And I say that like I'm not I'm not talking about everybody and not talking about myself. I'm always the first partaker of what I have to say. Always. But I've come to realize lately, it literally like dropped in my spirit, like you're not graced to do sometimes what you see other people doing. I hear people say all the time, I can never be an educator. I can never work with kids. I hate kids. I don't like kids. I can never. Yeah, because you're not graced to do that. But I probably could never do your job because I don't never want to be no nurse. I tried it. I went to nursing school. Terrible. I knew then I was not graced to do that job. I did not have the heart, the compassion. That was not my gift. That was not my calling. And sometimes and most times, I ain't even gonna say sometimes, most times it's not even about what you're graced to do is not always attached to your career, right? Like I am graced to be able to care for kids. I love kids, right? God has allowed me the grace to be able to do that. Some people are graced to take care of the elderly. That ain't me. I know that. I some people are graced to um take care of people who have like Alzheimer's and dementia. That ain't your girl. people, you on the podcast. I could never put all my business out there like that. I could never. And we just get into this habit of saying what we could never do. But have you ever thought about maybe it's not meant for you to do it? What's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander. If it worked for this goose, it may not work for you. And that's okay. That's okay. And I don't mean like, oh, I can never, date somebody who don't have a car and stuff like that. I mean like life things that we are gifted and graced to do that other people are not, and constantly saying, well, I could never. And you shouldn't. You should not. I hear that a lot when it comes to this, right? When it comes to my podcast, and I mentioned that a few seconds ago. I hear people tell me that all the time. I could never. I just could never. Like, you always posting on social media. I just could never. That's okay. Maybe it's not meant for you. Maybe it's not meant for you. But I believe that this is my gift. I believe that it is meant for me to do. So instead of coming to me and telling me how you could never do what I'm doing, what you can do is support. What you can do is share it. What you can do is like it and subscribe. You can do that. But when people feel like it's something that they can't do, then they often won't support it either. That's the real tea. That's the real tea. When people see something in you that they aren't bold or brave or creative or whatever you want to call it enough to do, they'll tell you how that just ain't for me, and then they won't even support you in doing it. And I don't know why that is. I don't have an answer for that. And I think that we need to get in the habit of supporting other people's gifts. It don't have to be your gift. It ain't about you. It's not about you. It doesn't have to be your gift. It doesn't have to be my gift for me to support you. It ain't my birthday, but I can still come to your party. Why can't we do that when it comes to other people's skills and gifts and the things that they're graced to do? It's not, I'm not the birthday, but I still can support you and come and celebrate you. And I think that we should, as a people, need to get more in the habit of saying, you know what? I'm not graced to do that. That's not for me. But I see you, friend. I see you, person who is out here doing it. And if I can support you in doing what you are gifted and what you are graced to do, then I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that 100%. 100%. So yeah, that was something that just like dropped into my spirit maybe like a week ago. And I was like, I'm going to talk about that. And like I said, I've definitely been someone who said like, oh, I can never do X. But I'm now getting into the habit of like, that gift is not for me. That thing is not for me, but I can support that being done because I can see it in someone else. So I think if we don't spend so much time focused on ourselves and like open up our eyes and see the world around us, we really could make this place a better place. We really could. So yeah, that is my show for tonight. I just wanted to jump on here and give y'all an update and celebrate being 1 year post weight loss surgery. I feel amazing. I look amazing. You can't tell me no different. I am just so incredibly happy. To the niggas who ghosted me, y'all missed out. You just moved out of the way for someone else, and that's okay too. Shout out to my friend D Smith from the Boy Please Whatever podcast. Please follow him. I get to see my friend in a few weeks next weekend. Actually, I'm very, very excited to see him. But shout out to him. He always supports me, always mentions me on his podcast. And so I like to return the favor. Many of you are following me because of him, and I'm just forever grateful for that. So shout out to D Smith from the Boy Please Whatever podcast. Subscribe to his YouTube, Boy Please Whatever. He is the only one. So when you type that in, it'll pop up and you'll know that that is him. Shout out to him, support him. Shout out to sis Sheridan Davis. She is someone that I got connected with through another podcast that I was a part of. She wrote a book recently called Illicit Love. Illicit Love by Sheridan Davis. So look her up. She's also on Instagram. I know for sure she's on Instagram. So follow her as well and download, purchase, share, buy her book, Illicit Love. Anybody else I need to shout out? Shout out to my friend Erica Nicole. She just had a birthday on the 22nd. She turned 40. She has been on the show, on my show, twice, maybe 3 times. 2 or 3 times at this point. So shout out to you, E. Happy birthday to you, my girl. I love you down. She is also the founder of Lotus Noir. It is a luxury purse brand. So look that up. Lotus, like the flower, Lotus, Noir, Black, Noir. Look her up. Purchase something from her website. That would be an amazing birthday gift to her. Other than that, I'm gonna see y'all soon. Thank you for all of the love and support as always, and we'll talk soon.